Hi, this is Carol Tuttle. I'm a best-selling author of 7 books and the creator of Dressing Your Truth, Energy Profiling, and most recently, our new and very life-changing online healing center, the Carol Tuttle Healing Center. I'm going to be really honest with you today. It's not often that I feel vulnerable. Often I'll hear from people that you're willing to be so vulnerable, but I believe vulnerability is only something that really is a consideration if you feel you need to be courageous. And most times I feel fine. In fact, there's only one other time in my career that I felt as vulnerable as I feel today. And that was in 1992. I had just moved to Utah. I was working part-time as an administrative assistant at the Women's Research Institute at Brigham Young University here in Utah. And for the professor of sociology. And she invited me to speak at a conference that was held annually on campus that was attended by literally tens of thousands of women. And I was asked to speak on forgiveness as it applies to the experience of being an incest survivor. And I spoke, and for those of you that are familiar with the BYU campus, there's a very large indoor stadium called the Marriott Center. And I spoke in that stadium in front of over 5,000 women on a topic that had never been formally or publicly addressed by my particular religious affiliation. I was a forerunner in that experience to really be someone that opened the space for healing to occur. And I felt very vulnerable that day. There's a lot of other things that happened as a result of that. I think I may talk about that in my book, The Modern Chakra Guide. But the purpose of today's broadcast is to help open the space for healing to occur and new choices to be made and a new humanity to come forward. And many of you may have read my post already. I put up a couple days ago. Well, it was on Tuesday. That was the day that there was a lot of controversy about whether you should be blacking out your social media platform, who you sign, if you do that, who are you lining up with? And I was very aware of the implications of that because I have a very diverse community, extremely diverse community. In fact, if we were, I'm sure I could say very much that I have people that are very, very, in the spectrum of the political experience. There's a lot of difference in how people perceive that part of their life. And that's one reason I've been respectful to my own community to say, I'm not going to bring in that part of my private life because I know I'll offend someone. And my goal always has been to support anyone, no matter their life experience, that wants to improve the quality of their life from what I teach. And I was just thrilled to I've been able to achieve that. And I'm not going to compromise that. So today's broadcast has nothing to do about politics. It has nothing to do about the many stories that are being discussed in the media, the variable point of views. It's about going into the energy and opening it. And I chose to make this perspective of this. We're kind of a point of attraction in the United States right now to get our attention. And a couple days on Tuesday, when I put the post up to share my, ahas, because I literally sat in my bedroom and I felt sadness. I felt more sadness and kind of discouragement around this than anything, because I've devoted my life over, we're going on 30 years of dedicating my life to teaching people about healing. And you just feel so like, wow, I feel like we're going backwards. It's just the energy's getting really open from a deep level. And as I was meditating with my bowls, I surrendered in that moment and just said, as I take the position that I create my reality, and I surrendered to that. Many of you are familiar with a practice called Ho'oponopono. It's the position of accepting the fact that everything I see outside of me is a creation of my inner self. And it's a real humbling process to go there, because you could look at, as I look at the practices in my behavior, I'm not aware of ever being active in a racial reference. I was raised to be very open-minded, and I am just a very open-minded human. So I'm very anti-racism in my own personal practice. And so for me to say I'm creating this experience of my reality, what I am witnessing, I choose to now claim as a creation of mine. And I thought, where's that coming from? And very quickly the answer came, and it made sense to me. And I hope to explain this, and then we're going to do a clearing session as I've written. And what was happening was many people have been actively clearing the dysfunction and the old energy of their family system in their root chakra. I talk about that in my book, The Modern Chakra Guide, that the chakras are being activated, and the planetary in the houses of the zodiacs are really, really pressing upon us right now to open these energies. We really don't have a choice. It's like we're getting activated. And that I've understood that for decades, that I took on a certain life experience to have a certain to allow, this is my soul's perspective, to allow my child self, who when I was a child, to experience molestation, rape, having experience being a victim. And in that, I knew I had, from my soul's perspective, as I began to heal that, I had stepped in as a healer, generational healer in my family system, to have this energy accounted for that preceded me. I wasn't the first one to be abused in my family system. My grandmother had a horrific childhood. She attempted suicide when she was 47. Horrific childhood, from what I've been able to piece together and the stories that I've found. My father was emotionally and verbally abused by his father. And so I understand, in my root chakra, I've had the root of my family system to clean up, so that my posterity can now move forward without the shadow effect of this energy. And there's science now also to say that that it affects our DNA. Unresolved trauma is actually present in our DNA that makes us vulnerable to certain triggers and perceptual worldviews and things, because it has an effect on us. So I was that person that chose to do that for my family, and I'm cool with that. It's what really led me to be in this role, to teach other people that practice, and to not, live your life in the energy of a victim, and then to come to a place of forgiveness and being able to now create something different. And what came to me when I was in my meditation on Tuesday was, we are now moving into opening the societal energies of the root chakra, meaning most countries have a history of some aspect of prejudice and injustice based on religion, skin color, on, economics. And why is that? Well, from what I've studied in the shift of our consciousness, we've been in a Piscean era. I speak to this in both Mastering Affluence, and I'm pretty sure I cover it in the Modern Chakra Guide. We have been in a system of hierarchy. We have been playing out the dominant, subordinate experience of ourselves, and saying, there's someone that there's an oppressor and the oppressed. Okay. And that's been our history. Never does it make it, we're in a consciousness now where we go, that's not okay. Now, I'm sure there were people in those times that felt this wasn't okay then. It was the infrastructure of the consciousness. Since we've moved into the 21st century, we're entering the experience, and I speak of this in my book, Mastering Affluence, what's been referred to as the age of Aquarius, an Aquarian energy, which is about opening, which is about a spiritual awakening, which is about flattening, collapsing the hierarchy, and that which sets a system up. I mean, you can serve, there's, in all things, you can play in the positive energy or the negative energy of it, because certainly there's been a lot of hierarchy built to support the lifting up of humanity. So, it's just, I'm able to accept that for being it is, and I choose to now, what do I choose? What energy do I choose to live my life in? And so it came to me that we're clearing this real societal energy, and I made a decision that today let's really approach it from a global perspective, because I have a lot of my community that are not in the United States, a lot of Canadians. The other kind of networks that where there's a strong Carol Tuttle following is UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And yet I reach people in South Africa and in the Middle East, because women will write me, and smaller numbers. But I decided to call this a global clearing for prejudice and injustices going. And as I looked at from I am a citizen of the United States, so I am therefore connected to the root chakra of the United States, meaning this story is in the history of the United States root chakra. And although I believe it's happening much less, and there's much more justice, and people are more mindful and heart-centered, it still plays out. And even if it's in I was reading a comment, a mom, actual white mom of a black son that's probably adopted. She asked her son from a teenager's point of view, how he was experiencing this. And he says he actually does hear a lot of what I call hostile humor, sort of playing on what's shameful, thinking it's funny. I mean, that's just not, my children were not allowed to tease each other or even talk about each other in a, kind of spiteful way. They were asked to go work it out and come to an agreeable, equitable decision. I'm a very strong empath, and having had the experience of being, having had that childhood experience, I'm highly, highly sensitive to humans being cruel. I can't watch those shows. I'm like, yeah, it just can't do it. It's just an energy that's just, it doesn't make me angry. It makes me sad. And I know what it takes to come back from being hurt by another human being. And it's not an easy task, but thankfully I've been able to figure out ways that now make it easier and faster for people. But this really isn't about me. I just share that for you to understand kind of the paradigm I'm coming from. And so if you want to understand more about energy healing, if this is all brand new to you, I just produced and launched a new energy healing basics guide where I teach you kind of the connection. Why are we clearing something I've never practiced in my life? Why am I going to be saying things in this clearing session that were never my thought or my behavior? Because it's in the energy of our bigger consciousness, which I am a party to. I'm a part of that. Can I affect that? Do I have ancestors that most likely did play in that consciousness? Yes, because that was the common consciousness of the day. Can I help shift that energy? And so we're not responsible for our ancestors' choices, yet we can choose to step in and be accountable for the energy that's never been accounted for and help Open it so healing can occur. And as I said in my copy, as Albert Einstein, he's a type 2, very gentle soul, said, no problem can be solved at the same consciousness it was created in. Consciousness is a byproduct of your personal energy system. And if you're triggered by any of this, no matter where you put yourself in the political kind of spectrum of how it's playing out, what we're being told, what's going on, most likely you're feeling how charged this energy is from some emotional state. And then in my copy, and I'd like you to do this right now, just take a moment, and you might be able to answer, fill in the blank for all three of these statements, but we want to bring forward, before we start the clearing, let's invite whatever emotion is getting triggered for you to come forward so we can clear it. And I have to tell you, so while I'm talking, finish the sentence. I am angry because, I prefer you not put these in the comment thread because this is going to stay up and probably go on my website. I just don't need, this is personal. This is what's coming up for you. What is this triggering for you? I am angry because, and or I am sad because, and or I am afraid because. Just whatever, boom. Now consider the possibility, and I teach this all the time in the Carol Tuttle Online Healing Center. Consider the possibility that the emotion that you are feeling so strongly, you are not the original author of. It goes back generations. You are meant to be aware of it because you now are in a position with the awareness to now finally be that person in your family system, in the role of being a citizen of where you live on the planet, to account for that energy, transmute it, and then use your awareness to create something different. And that's what we do in the tapping sessions. We will be giving voice. I wrote this script the last 2 days. It's been a very heavy energy for me. I've not been able to go into my office all week. I've had to be by myself. I've felt this. It's kind of like I walk into an energy field and feel it fully and completely. And then I start to receive information on what is it this energy represents. I'm not someone that can educate you about racial history and the injustices. I position myself very specifically in my expertise, and that is in healing. And that's what I'm here to help you with if you seek that. If you want to stay sad, if you want to stay scared, if you want to stay angry, that's your choice. Yet consider the possibility that there's a part of you that just wants to be heard and validated because this has affected you in some way to say, I have some things to heal as well. So it goes the spectrum from you're the micro, society is the macro. And then as you clear, the beautiful thing is, if I had not cleared my own wounding and the injustices played out with me, my life would look very different right now because that energy would have motivated my thoughts, my perceptions, my choices, my health, many, many things. And it's taken me many years to get to the place that I am. And I'm so grateful to be in that place now. And I'm so grateful to be able to serve you and helping you. And so with that, let's have an intention. I actually wrote that in the copy. Liz, maybe, do I even have my phone with me right now? I don't. I'm not going to have a Q&A after this. I've got great resources to help you with the, maybe someone could just put in the comment thread what I wrote. Let's all come to this clearing with this intention, because I just assume repeat that. And please set an intention that you and all the people of the world will benefit from this clearing session. Okay, it's simple. And so with that, I'm going to do the clearing. We'll do a visualization after, and then I'm going to wrap up. I did share yesterday. I took this from my online healing center. It's part of our pay. Oh, my husband just handed me the phone. Thank you, dear. Handed me the phone. So maybe I will take questions because I really want to help you. It's like the human stories right here. And beneath that is the energy that provokes the story that's getting created. We're going down here into the energy, and we're going to do that. So I think we're just going to move forward. Okay. Everyone take a deep breath. And then just a big exhale. And just notice what you finished in those, the anger or the sadness or the fear. Whatever that is for you right now. And allow that to be present. Some of you may get emotional. I may get emotional do this. It's been a real process to be willing to go in and put words to this energy. If anything, you go, I don't agree with that. You've been triggered. Own it as a trigger. This is not about trying to agree on the human story. It's about going into the energy and opening it so we can create a different human story. Okay, now your root chakra is down around your, it's down at the bottom of your pelvis. It's really your perineum is the flat area. For a woman, it'd be between your vaginal opening, your anal opening. It's that flat area. That's your root chakra, really, in its most exact position. It's the very bottom of your torso, right there. And that is where it's coming from. We have both a bottom and a bottom floor and a main floor of the root chakra. The bottom floor is called the foot chakra. And I write about that in my book, Modern Chakra Guide, about how the energy of taking a stand is really, really potent right now. You can read a section in there about where I reference a fairly recent experience with the Me Too movement, and I reference the human story just to teach the principles around the energy that was being activated in the foot chakra. We're seeing that happen, and we're seeing the main energy of the root chakra opening our societal imprints so we can clear them. So we can really release for ourselves and humanity this old energy. And so with that, just even place your hands down uncross your arms and legs. And if you place your hands just between your legs off of that area of the bottom of your torso, you're now connecting with that energy. If anyone's had issues of constipation or, maybe diarrhea or things happening in this part of the body, things are clogged up and the energy is very, very heavy. Eating patterns get thrown off when our root chakra is out of whack or being very strongly activated. I'll just real quick read here. If your root chakra is open, you flow and accumulate plenty of money, enjoy a healthy body, you feel you belong, you have a strong connection with family and or friends while living true to yourself, using your gifts and talents to make a difference in the world. And everyone feels that way. The affirmation is, as I live true to myself, I know I deserve to thrive and help others thrive. And so in that area, we're cleaning out that which interferes and compromises that truth. And just close your eyes and imagine you could drop down into like a roots. Roots grow very deep. This is a very, very deep root. Imagine that if you need to visualize a weed or a flower or something, just even a tree with deep roots, imagine you could go down to the deepest part of that root, to the very origin of what's been created that root is feeding. Okay, for the and it goes, if we can trace United States history back to the time of slavery. We can even go further back to a hierarchical system of injustice and prejudice way before that, because that's what would have created in our country that particular playing out. But there's many, many facets of that in every country. Again, that include skin color, religion, sexual orientation. There's so many. There's just so many that have been played out. So we're going down into that root. We're going to do the clearing. Then as we lift, we're going to be able to open the space so that root can be pulled up gently and easily and plucked out. And then we can do the affirmations. And you can tap along with me if tapping's new to you. Again, go to caroltuttle.com/basics guide. I explain how this works in more detail, how this is beneficial to do right now with so much charged energy, regardless of what the stories are. Okay, we're going to start with our hands on our heart. And you're welcome to repeat after me. Even though I am troubled and don't know what to do, I'm ready to clear this energy. Even though I am angry and sickened by injustices, I'm shifting the energy that provokes these choices in humankind. Even though I am sad and feel pulled out and want to retreat, I'm showing up in a way that honors my true self and making a difference. Okay, now you're going to start tapping on the inside of eyebrow. You can follow along with me, or for those of you that aren't, you can just tap right here on your K27 points. All your meridians pass through these points that are about where your collarbone points are. Releasing the energy of injustices all the way back as far as they go. Domination and control. The belief, I am better than you. You are less than me. Someone needs to be in control and dominate. Releasing the energy of subordination and victimization. Letting it go. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Letting go from my DNA all the traces of prejudice, discrimination, antagonism directed against someone of a different race, religion, economic class. Letting go of the belief that one human is superior to another. Letting this go from the origin of its creation. As many generations back that we need to go to release it. Releasing once and for all the energy that creates chaos, destruction, discord, suppression, lockdown, pent-up anger. Releasing the energy that has created a hierarchy of domination and control. Releasing the anger. Releasing the cruelty. The many crimes that have not been accounted for. The murders, false accusations, division that is created between humans, letting go of the old constructs and systems that create division, repression, and privilege. Let it all go. Releasing and letting go of all the pain this has caused. Letting go of all the suffering this has caused. Letting go of the people that have been hurt and never acknowledged. Letting go of the pattern of people being hurt and never acknowledged. Letting go of all the injustice that has never been accounted for. Releasing the pattern of overgeneralizing and stereotyping people. All Black people are. All white people are. All police officers are. All Christian people are. All Jewish people are. All men are. All women are. And any and all other generalizations and stereotypes that hurt humanity. Releasing all known and unknown generalizations and damaging stereotypes from my own conscious and subconscious mind. My DNA, from every cell. Letting it go for all generations, all known and unknown sources. Let it go. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Letting go of repeating the stories of society's pattern of struggle and pain. When will this change? Feel like we are going backward. Distrust of the system. Don't know who to trust. Worn out by all the anger and conflicting stories. Afraid to speak up for fear of being shot down. If my narrative doesn't match yours, I'm wrong. Looking for peaceful outcomes. Worried, sad, unsettled, confused. Reached a breaking point. Every week, it seems like a new tragedy unfolds. What is happening? Chaos. Releasing all the energy that creates choosing crime, lawlessness, reacting rather than acting in civility and wisdom. I can't do much about it, so I might as well do nothing. Want to do something but don't know what to do. Angry and insisting I be heard. Feeling guilty about enjoying life right now. So little to enjoy. So much upheaval and distraction. Let it go for all, think of all, go down in that deep part of the root chakra. How many of your ancestors have had those same feelings? Even be honest with yourself. How many of your ancestors, people of your sort of global, of your country's citizenship have had prejudices and acted out injustices? Maybe you even have people living right now in your family system. Releasing that energy that creates this. Letting it go for all humanity, all countries, for the whole planet. Let it go. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Yeah, I've had a, if I had prejudices, not in the bigger scheme of Yeah, I would probably say I have towards my husband. You know, there's sort of the spectrum of small to large, and from just annoying to violent and criminal. And so I think we all could say we've had that experience on some scale, that's just been, we've had, you know, we have, without knowing a person's energy type, we can have those sort of, you know, one thing energy profiling does is help you get rid of things that would cause you to feel a prejudice towards this behavior's irresponsible and this behavior's preferred, you know, or this manner, this personality, whatever. And so with that in mind, repeat after me. I forgive myself for any and all judgments, prejudices, and mistreatment of others, no matter how small or large it is. I choose to account and own my actions and change them. I forgive my ancestors and now choose to create a new reality of equality and equanimity. I forgive humanity for all its corruption, wrongdoings, mistreatment of others, prejudice, and criminal deeds. God bless humanity to now wake up and choose differently. Deep inhale and exhale. Now we've opened the energy, we've given voice to it, we've acknowledged it, we've forgave it, we gave it back to its original, we've given it to ourselves, we've given it back to the origin of its creation, forgiving it back. I teach about that, mastering affluence. Now we're going to transmute it to create what we now want. So tapping again. Thank you, God. We are ready to choose differently. I'm choosing to create love and kindness. I'm choosing to create justice for all. I'm choosing to create equality for all. I'm choosing to create empowerment for all. I am love and kindness. I'm seeing people as individuals. I desire safety for everyone. I'm accepting of all people. We are all equal. I'm grateful that new ideas are manifesting that are helping us create new societies where everyone is being treated with fairness and equality. I am choosing peace. I am choosing love. I am choosing kindness. I am making inspired choices as to how I can take action to make a difference. I am a great example to my children and grandchildren. I speak kindly of others. I'm a civil and respectful person. Tapping that into every cell. Creating a new reality. Believing in a better world. Holding a higher vibration to create a new story for all. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Put your hand on your heart. Now imagine that root's real loose now. That old root of dysfunctional energy, as far back as it goes, as deep as that root was, and imagine you can easily, it just lifts out. And it disperses into light. It creates all these light particles that seed new energy. So that new energy can just be in the metaphor of looking like new flowers growing, blossoming, grass, green. Green is very healing. So that energy in the visualization is transmuted to a new outcome. Just take a deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And in the practice of Ho'oponopono, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. And there's some remarkable stories. If you want to look into that, Joe Vitale actually has written a lot about that practice. He was trained in it by one of the original teachers of that, a Hawaiian. So if you have any questions that I can help and support you, thanks for sharing this with people that are looking for this kind of support. I prefer not to get pushed back on my own page. I honestly don't deal well with it. I don't like coming back at people. I don't. I'm not interested in proving anything or proving my point, or it's kind of like either you're ready for this or you're not, and you get it or you don't. What oils are good for the root chakra? I'm grounded. When things are being uprooted, which is this old energy is getting uprooted, we can be thrown off and we're not feeling grounded in a healthy energy. And so the I'm grounded oil, the I am nurtured is on sale right now for 20% off. That'd be really, really beneficial for just supporting your overall being. And then the I am balance works with all 7 chakras. But the I'm grounded is particularly timely because, and children are being, let me give a little tip on children, whether you're talking about this or not, they're very open. We all have an emotional, energetic field of energy. The children of our time are very open on that plane of energy, very open. So they kind of become this intersection of the energy on the planet and in the geographical area in which you live, and they stream it without knowing it, and they have no awareness, and you as a parent or grandparent may not even know. That's why they're not sleeping, or they're having bigger tantrums, or their diets look funny. They're they're not living true to their nature. And children, the healing bowl meditation I shared yesterday here on my Facebook page, I have many sound meditations that I've recorded that are available in the Healing Center that you just listen to. I would highly, highly recommend the children listen to that to get their system back into order and to strengthen their own core energy so they don't stream this kind of global and geographical energy that's very strong in the United States right now. And children, spinal flesh, these are all practices I teach that are free, and I made the sound healing free yesterday, and they need to be spinal fleshed and cleaned up. Keep them just kind of really manage the media you're playing in your home. That is a big provoker of the energy coming through that children cannot. I'm looking up Ho'opono. Let's see, it's spelled Ho'oponopono. There's only 13 letters in the Hawaiian alphabet, and Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian healing modality. It comes from the Hawaiian shamanic practice. What does it mean that other countries are participating? Well, everyone's hearing about this. This is like big news everywhere in the world. You know, everyone's got their media spotlight on the United States right now, and you then have an opportunity to observe it or to take a position with it. You know, say whether you agree, don't agree. I choose to be an observer of the human story. And then I'm very active in my own values. I'm very active as a citizen to say, my vote matters. I do have my own. There's a lot you don't know about me that's private when it comes to my the matters I don't discuss here, but I stay educated as it feels correct to me. But if I get pulled into the story, I react to it. I try to stay clear enough that I can make decisions that feel correct to me and what I choose to support, if I might donate money, who I vote for. But if I'm triggered because I'm a part of this energy that's wanting to clear, I'm not available to myself to receive inspiration that way. If someone you love does not view those occurrences the way you do, what is a good way to handle this different reaction from your own? I wouldn't talk about it and let them have their own experience, but I would also set boundaries to say that's just, we don't see this the same, and it's best unless we can hear each other and just from a place of empathy say, okay, I can hear you. I may not agree with you, but I can hear you and I can understand it from your point of view, even though mine's different. But if they're triggered and they're coming at you, that energy is so charged right now, I wouldn't make myself vulnerable to that. And so it just depends on, are they able to stay civil and have a discussion and learn from each other? While doing this clearing, I felt throat tightening. Does this mean anything specific? Well, these are words that you're willing to speak. Maybe you've never said them before. There's an ownership here. Throat chakra. I wrote a outline yesterday in my post of the what are the energetic, what's going on with the energy of the 7 chakra energy centers as far as in the United States experience. And the throat chakra is very active, agitated, and overdrive right now. And so it's just a really worked up energy in our energy system. So thank you. Thanks for guiding me with my question. I hope others benefited too. Thank you for everyone that joined in today. If you feel moved to share this, thank you for doing that. And please do check out, if you're new to energy healing, it's an incredible way to transform your life and to create. Never before have we been in a position to create stories. We've never been in this place as a humanity. And the future that is available to us has never been created yet, because we are being asked to create that from a higher consciousness, from a place of understanding. And please, I just think it's really important right now as well to give attention to all the good things that are happening in the world. And there's always more that is lovely and good and available for us. So make sure you do put your attention on that. And if you're, again, nature is one of the best ways to come back into alignment. The beautiful thing about nature, when you go anywhere and separate from where the human story has sort of created its overlay, all there is the atmosphere of peace, unless you bring it with you in your thoughts. But if you're able to quiet your mind and just go stand on the side of a mountain or under a tree and really kind of remove yourself from the busyness of the collective, you'll notice that there's always peace. We don't create peace, we allow it, because that to me is the energetic atmosphere of our planet. The earth is peaceful, and nature shows us that. And so as we heal the human story of pain and struggle that we've been playing out for eons of time, we allow peace to be made manifest that already exists. And I think that's a beautiful thing to understand, because it's there all the time. So make sure you're tapping into it. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time with me today. And my intent is this has helped you. And we can make a difference here, even though we're a little tiny drop in an ocean. That ripple does join the collective energy to have an effect. So I appreciate your dedication to this kind of work.